All right. Well, welcome back to the Martin Take. Brendon made me redo this entry. I had a really fun entry into the episode, but he decided I had to
You're
redo
making
it. So,
it worse. You're making it worse.
What? No, we're going to keep this. This is live.
no, this is in.
Episode
We're in now.
number
We're in now.
41. Welcome to episode number 41 here of the Martin Take podcast edition with the our episodes here. So on for today, we have an artist that you've probably heard of. Everyone's heard of. They're not like mainstream, but they're also not small stream. They're like that creek that you can't decide if it's a river or just a stream. It is Vampire Weekend, and
Right.
very interesting style. And I'm gonna get into the intro a little bit here before I kick it to style here. But the Vampire Weekend is an American rock band from New York City that was formed in 2006. Interesting thing about them, they were formed and they met at Columbia University. And Columbia is one an Ivy League, a very high-end school. So I thought that was kind of interesting that they met there. But the band currently consists of 3 current members. There's a bunch of past members, and one of them most recently left in 2016. But the band currently consists of lead vocalist and guitarist Ezra Koenig. We don't know how to say the names, so we're just guessing here. Drummer Chris Thompson. And then bassist Chris Bayo. And we're just guessing for those names because we're not 100% sure. But like I said, they all met at Columbia University, and they started making some music in 2006. And their style has changed over the years, but it's unique. And when I say unique, we say unique for a lot of bands that we cover. But it's just different. It's American. It's like punk rock. It's rock. It's American rock. It's indie. It's all mixed together into like this unique lyric writing and song styling. But I don't even know how to describe it. Do you have any better words to put to it than my generic basis words for it, Brendon?
Those are pretty good words because it is strange. Like I don't really have a special placement for it. They're weird in a different way to, like, I think of them as like Foster the People kind of has its own weird style, but this is also different than that is. So it's just one of those bands that is very personally stylized to themselves.
Right. Yeah. So it's just very unique, and it's changed album over an album. Like if you look at their first album to their last album, their styling has changed pretty dramatically, in my opinion, which we'll get into here. But yeah, just very unique, and it's not even like their lyric writing is pretty interesting. I mean, everyone has pretty unique lyrics, and if you're going to be famous in music, the music industry, besides the food industry, is probably the 2 most competitive industries in the world. From the standpoint of like anyone can do it, anyone can make food, anyone can make music, pretty much. I mean, within reason. But to make it big, you have to have like your staple uniqueness, and I think they do well with that. With just this interesting Mod Podge mashup of styling.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that for sure.
I like my example of the food industry music. I just thought about that on the spot. I actually think it's a good representation of what it's actually like. It's a very crowded industry.
Yeah. Yep.
Moving on to albums here, Brendon, and we have 4 albums. I'm going to list them off here. The first one was Vampire Weekend, self-titled album from 2008, Contra from 2010, Modern Vampires of the City 2013, and Father of the Bride 2019. And before I even start into the albums, Brendon, 2 things here to note. 1, I love that they did a self-titled album first. And we talked about that last time.
That's the right way to do it.
That's the right way to do it. We talked the last time about Augustana. It was like Augustana and The Fray both had like their second and third albums as like self-titled albums, but the Vampire Weekend did it right with their first album. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is I like their third album, Modern Vampires of the City. It's like kind of like a throwback to their name. So just 2 little interesting tidbits of information from them.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to talk about these albums a little bit because they definitely have, some change over time. And so I'll be interested to hear where your standpoint on that is. So I guess we're going to go into rankings of these.
We are, yes, here. I'll let you go first here. I've been doing a lot of the talking for first of this episode here. So let's go into the rankings, which you have them here for. So go ahead.
Yep. We'll start at the bottom. Number 4, I have Modern Vampires of the City. Number 3, I have Contra. Number 2, Father of the Bride. And number 1, self-titled Vampire Weekend.
Oh my gosh, you could not be more wrong. Wow, that's abysmal. I have Vampire Weekend at number 4. Their worst album by a lot.
What?
I have Contra at 3. Did not like it. And then number 2, I'd Father the Bride. And then without question, with not even a question, Modern Vampires of the City is their best album by, not by a little bit, by a mile. It's not even close. It's for sure their best album.
Okay. This will be interesting. I have a couple of those songs on my on my top 15. Yeah.
For how many songs are going to be in our top 5, I'm putting 0.
Yeah, this
This is the first time I'm saying that. We'll get into it. But just going through the albums here, let's talk through each one here. Vampire Weekend, their first album, 2008. It's super like Daft Punk rocky. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yep.
Like, I put it down as an alternative version of Daft Punk or punk rock.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's got some of those vibes. Yeah.
It's just a very different styling than the rest of their music. Like, for sure. Like, that first album is very unique in the sense of just, like, they came out with this, and it's just, like, it feels like it's punk rock. It kind of feels like it's soft punk rock. Like, it's not even the hardcore punk rock. I've never heard anything like this album before, and I was just like, I don't like it. I don't like it. So.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I would put that maybe, like, one of their, like, on their Wikipedia page, one of their, like, descriptors is indie pop or something. Like, it has...
Yeah.
Because it is softer. It's not super punk or anything.
Right.
But I don't know. It's hard to place.
It's a weird... Yeah, and that's what I was... Yeah. I was having trouble placing a lot of their albums because it's hard to say exactly what... I don't know. I don't have words to... like describe what I think it is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, no, I overall enjoyed that sound, but it was a little. A lot of those songs kind of are they're very specific sounding, so it's like you know, you have to be in the right mood or whatever. You can't just. They're not all of them are just easy listening songs.
Right. Let's go to Contra here, their second album that came out in 2010. This one's getting a little bit more alt rock, but it still has some traces of punk rock, and then getting a little bit softer. It was a pretty big change from Vampire Weekend to Contra. It's a pretty big style change in just those 2 years.
I'll disagree with you a little bit on that. Like to me, those first 2 albums to me kind of flow together. It's a different sound, but to me they kind of feel like a smooth transition.
It is a smooth transition, but it is different. Like, it's not like we talk about how artists will, like, they'll start off a style and they'll kind of start to waver a little bit to find where they're actually at now. And this one is like a step in that direction, a pretty aggressive step. It's not like a gradual step. Like, we're going to a more of like an alt indie sound with traces of it. I don't know. I see what you're saying. I would place them together in contrast with their 4 albums of Father the Bride and Modern Vampires of the City. And then you compare those 2 to their first 2 albums. Yeah, I would say it's more closer to Vampire Weekend than ones for sure. And that's why I had those at the bottom 2. I did not like those albums.
So, well, let's talk about Modern Vampires of the City then. So why is that your favorite one?
Best by far. It feels their style shifts a lot more probably, and this one takes another giant step. And this one's... So I really like indie alt, and I don't really like anything else besides that the older I get. And I feel like this one is more of an indie alt sound, with still like a little hint of that like soft, like rockish, punkish. I don't know. Like it has that like it's like a twist. It seems like they took like alt music, like alternative rock, and they like put some like shrooms in it. They put some shrooms in it. They were mixing up a batch of cookies, and the cookies they were making was like all indie rock music, soft rock. And they're like, "Hey, would be a great idea in these cookies that we're making? We put a little like shrooms in it." And they did, and that's where you get this music. So that, and then the Vampire Weekend, their first one was just like a shroom batch of cookies. So that's a very harsh way to describe it, but that's the best way. I'm sticking with that analogy.
Okay.
I've never done shrooms. I don't do drugs, but I just thought it was a fun way to say how that worked. So I don't actually know. I don't even know what it's like to be on shrooms, so I can't stand by that.
Yeah, I got that. But so my take, my like feeling with that album is not that it was forgettable, but it was like it didn't stick out to me as much. Yeah, I know.
Man. So
because like I do like some of the songs. There's one song in particular that I quite enjoy, but that the album overall didn't leave a very strong impression on me.
Yeah.
Like the vibe of the album is good overall, but like there weren't
great.
there weren't that many singular songs that really popped out.
Wow.
Whereas those first 2 albums, they have some real good ones that jump out.
So Father of the Bride here, switching to the last album that came out,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting. They came out 2008, 2010, 2013, then 2019. So they went like 2 years, 3 years, and then 6 years after that one. So this one I have very similar to modern Vampire of the City, but more of a soft rock. So it seems like they're continuing their shift to more of a soft rock vibe, and this album is definitely more of the continuation down that pattern. And I think you could group the 4 albums together into 2. You could put Contra and Vampire Weekend together as like one set, and you can put Modern Vampires of the City and Father of the Bride into one set as well.
Yeah, and I think to me at least, Father of the Bride gets a little more into modern pop rock.
Yeah,
and
yep.
and it's also a little it's a little hard for me, or I'm a little biased because I was listening to the Father of the Bride since it came out,
really?
and that was my main intro into them. So it kind of sticks out above the rest of them beyond like their like most popular songs.
Yeah.
So it's a little. I'm a lot more familiar with that whole album than everything else. But to me, that one felt a lot more modern and typical of the type of music I tend to listen to.
Cool. Well, that's interesting because the only really album that I listened to from them that I've only liked is Modern Vampires of the City. So it's gonna be interesting.
Did you listen to any of this prior? Like, did you know them much at all?
I knew who they were. I had most of Father of the Bride and all of Modern Vampires of the City in my library. I didn't have any Contra, and I didn't have any Vampire Weekend songs from those two albums.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I disagree with your ranking, but
hey, I respect your ranking. You can disagree with mine, So how many songs do we have in the top 5? I said 0 a couple minutes ago. I'm gonna change it to 1 because I think you're gonna have at least one song from Modern Vampires of the City. So I'm going to say 1. I have 0 faith.
So it sounds like you're fairly heavily banked into that album.
Maybe not. See. I would like not to reveal my secrets really, but I'm saying 1, and that's an iffy 1 if I'm going to be honest with you, just from what you're telling me.
So before we recorded, I was thinking, I'm like, I wonder what will happen. I'm like looking at my list. I'm like, we could have 2 or 3.
Wow.
But now I don't know if I feel so confident in that. So.
I don't feel any confident. Just your music styling is just really different right now.
Yeah, I don't know. There's 3 on here that are pretty good. I don't know. I think they're ones I thought like that when listening to them. I was like, oh, Conrad. I could see Conrad liking this, but I guess I could be wrong. So I'll go with 2 because I have a little more confidence in us.
Wow. Okay.
But I might.
Well, let's figure it out here. Let's hit it off right away with your number 5, Brendon. What is your top 5 song from Vampire Weekend?
So my top 5 is, I believe, their top song, and by the sounds of it, you might not even like it. It is "A Punk" from Vampire Weekend.
I had it at 16. Yeah, I don't like that song.
Okay. So I kind of debated. I didn't have this on my top 5 originally. I had it down a couple places, and then finally at the end I was like, I'm just trying to like be edgy and not put their like most like played song in my top 5.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I really do enjoy this. Like, it definitely has a specific feel to it.
Yeah.
But I think it's a lot of fun. It's very chaotic and fairly quick paced. But I like the guitar. It sounds really good in there, and also these like I think it's sometimes in the background, but then there's like one long transition later in the song with the flute that I think is really unique sounding. And again, this is one of the songs I thought that you would at least like. I didn't know if it'd be super high, but I thought it would be pretty close to your top 5.
Yeah, I had it. So I had 30 songs ranked, and it got 16. I think they have a total of 55 songs. I think I don't know if I updated that, but yeah, 55 songs or so. So I had 30 ranked, and it came in at 16.
Okay, yeah, and then finally, I'll say this now and probably not talk about it too much later. Lyrically, they are kind of often all over the place, or like they're not they're not very clear lyrics or very clear like ideas and stuff in their songs. So this one I didn't get a lot of, and most of these I didn't get that much out of. But I don't think that's really the point of most of Vampire Weekend's songs. So you just kind of enjoy the sound, and sometimes there's fun, weird lyrics. But overall, this one it's just a very, very fun, chaotic song, and I really liked that.
Yeah, interesting song. Number one song in Apple Music, and it's I don't even know how to describe it. I think you put it pretty well. It's a little bit chaotic, too much for me, but all their songs are. And my number 5 song's not a whole lot different. I have Diane Young at my number 5 from the album Modern Vampires of the City.
You toss aside like a pile of leaves. I gotta find some better weeds. 4 or 5 meter running around the bend when the government may just surround you again. If Diane Young won't change your mind, baby, right on.
I'm guessing it's not even. Yeah,
Don't think it happened on my list. No.
Okay. I wasn't that surprised. Great song, great vibe of a song, I'll say. So I like where it picks up at the beginning with the drums. It has like kind of a little bit slower start. I don't love like the first like 15 seconds, but then it has a part where it just kind of also picks up the drums. Then it goes hard and it's really solid the rest of the song. So it's a pretty good listen. It's one of those songs where like if I'm gonna listen to them, it's gonna be on that playlist. So it's just a really good vibe. It was tough because I think including my top 5 and my like 6 through 15 list, it was kind of hard to differentiate a lot of them out. So I think there's gonna be a lot of different songs for this one. And the 5 spots always, it's like the cutoff zones. It's so hard, but I put Diane Young at number 5, and it could be switched out, but it's a great song. I really do enjoy it.
Nobody knows what the future holds. That's bad enough, just getting old. Live my life and set the best. You know I love the best 'cause I hate suspense. If Diane Young won't change your mind, baby, right on time.
Yeah, I believe for me, I mean, that is a good song. I believe for me that was I had, I think, 16 or 17 songs on my list, and then I had, cut 2 for the top 15, and that was one of them that had almost made it on there. So it is one I enjoyed, but not quite high enough for my ranking.
What's at number 4? What's behind door number 4, Brendon?
Another strange one. So for number 4, I have Run from Contra.
Every dollar counts, and every morning hurts. We mostly work to live until we
Got that anywhere?
29.
So 29. Okay. Yep. So it's another fun song. It's not as chaotic as A-Punk, but it's quirky, I'll call it. And I think Ezra, his voice and vocals are pretty good in this song. I mean, they're good everywhere, but this one in particular seemed pretty good. And then the horns, as well as some like digital sounds that are used in the mix, is just kind of spot on for this. Like, again, it's quirky, so like that kind of mix with the pacing of being, pretty quick and all of that, just is a really like fun thing to listen to. And that's kind of what I got from both of these first 2 songs. It's just kind of, to my like listening ear, it's just kind of enjoyable and strange, but not like bothersome or too much. It's just kind of the right amount of strangeness.
we change in rows. It struck me that the 2 of us could run.
When you asked where I had this song, and I was like 29, and I thought it's like a bingo. It's like B29. Does anyone have B29? Bingo! Doing it. All right, so moving on here to my number 4.
Yeah, that's pretty low for you.
I thought that was kind of funny. Moving on to my number 4 here, and this one is one of their better ones. I really enjoyed this song. But at number 4, I have another song from Modern Vampires of the City. It's "Worship You."
Only in the way, want it only on the day, want it only with the understand, and every single day, want it only in the way, want it only on the day, you want it only with the understand, and every single day, want it you. City with the weight upon city in the way, want a city with the safety of it.
That is a good one. That is my number 6, almost my number 5.
Dang it. That is sad. It's a great song. So I love the opening to this song. It's super fast and quick, and there's a lot happening. The whole song is just a complete vibe, solid the whole way through. It's one of their most upbeat songs, and I'm going to say this. Does this count as a rap song? The dude spits lyrics at an alarmingly quick rate that it's like fast.
It doesn't feel like It doesn't feel like rap though. There's a different.
No, it's
I don't know
not.
what the word is.
It's not like so. Okay, rap is basically like lyric association at a fast, rapid rate. So it's rap would basically like rhyming words that keep flowing. So this song is not rap because it's not like rhyming like in a rhythmical. Thank you, that word. In a way that's like that, but what it is song, it's just super super fast. So the way he can articulate words at an alarming fast rate is really impressive, and I think it's a really great song. And the line like we worship you like that line is really really good. This song is really solid. So even though you didn't have your top 5, 6 is a great spot. Really enjoyed the song, but yeah, I really really like this song. It's a great one.
Yeah, I like literally just for that like worship you like little chorus bit was the reason I would have put it on. I just thought it was kind of one thing about it I liked, and I was like, I think the other songs I chose have more dynamic like enjoyment to them, and were more like that song isn't necessarily that like sound uniquely like Vampire Weekend. It could be anyone who does that.
Yep.
But it was still an amazing song, and I'm glad you put that on there because I was very close to putting it on my top 5, and then it just kind of edged it out. Yeah.
What do you have at number 3?
All right, so unique in a different way here. We're getting away from the quirky, chaotic songs, and we're gonna go to "Hold You Now," featuring Danielle Haim, something. From Father of the Bride.
I know the reason why you think you gotta leave. Promises of future glory don't make a case for me. I did my best to know the rest.
I don't even have that song. What album is it?
Yeah, Father of the Bride.
Oh, you already said that, Doug. And which song was it again? Hold You Now.
Hold You Now. Yeah, I'll let you dig for that.
I need to go listen to it.
So I've liked this song since this album came out. When this album came out is when I'd kind of been aware of Vampire Weekend, but when this album came out, I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to this whole album, and this one has kind of just stuck with me. It's a bit of a different sounding one, like I was saying, and it's different from a lot of Vampire Weekend stuff. It's a duet song. A lot of the stuff on this album has, featuring various artists, but I really enjoy the short little choruses that are sung by a choir in some other language. I don't even know what it means. It has an interesting sound, and there's a weird pacing. And after the first verse, before that first chorus, he like stops and does like a strum tap, and it just goes "all right" or something like that, and then it like transitions to this chorus. It's just oddly catchy or something. Like it just kind of sticks in my head.
All right.
And so I love that. And then there's also kind of when I was looking into this song a little bit, there's kind of a country feel to this song, with like the back and forth and some of like the basic instruments that are used. It almost has that feel. And like the overall, this one does kind of have a theme overall to it of just a relationship from two different perspectives, and that's where you get the duet. But yeah, no, it's just a really unique sounding song from already a unique band, and I just really enjoy that.
It's funny you like it because it's like an interesting. I got annoyed by it is what I remember. I didn't remember the song when you said it. I went back and listened. I'm like, oh yeah, this one.
Yeah, there's not really any flow or anything
it's kind of
to
annoying to it. Yeah. But no, it's an interesting song. I'm kind of surprised you have that at your number 3 spot there. Kicking to my number 3. And we need to have.
Is it from Modern Vampire Cities?
Wow, you guessed it. Yes, it is. And I'm not gonna lie because the song is "Don't Lie" by the album from the Modern Vampires of the City.
One look sent these to the ground. Young bloods can't be settling down. Young hearts need the pressure to pound.
Nope, not on my list.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not surprised. So this one is a lot different than my last song. So I had my number 4 song was "Worship You," and "Don't Lie" is a lot different than that one. It's a lot more slower and more of a vibe song. And it's not like a get up and get hyped. Like the "Worship You" was kind of a little bit more of like get up and get hyped type song.
Mm-hmm.
Don't Lie is kind of the opposite of that, but it's just a great, really chill, really vibey song that I really, really like. I really like the opening to it. Just a great song the whole way through. Just a really solid song. My top 2 songs, this is number 3, I have 2 more after this, they are just a lot better than this one, but this is like their first, like, their third best super solid song that's just a great vibe the whole way I listen to it in my IMO opinion twice. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not a bad
It's a
song.
good song.
It's probably too slow and dare I say forgettable.
Yeah, okay. It's a solid song. It offers a lot to it. Okay, so basically, yeah, it's a slower song, but it's very consistent. It's a very like good vibe song. So it's like not like any high or low peaks. It's forgettable because it's solid. End of statement.
I wanna know, does it bother you? Low click of a ticking clock.
Moving on to your number 2.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued here. So we're getting very close to the end.
Nothing's
And
even close.
I know.
I should maybe have stuck with 0. I didn't trust your opinions though.
So I mean, can I get a? Well, I'll ask
No,
this
you
when
can't change
you
it.
get to your number 1. I'll ask this when you get to your number 1. But I am intrigued because I feel like my number 1 is pretty good. But there's another song that you could also choose. But maybe you're gonna really stick heavy with modern
I don't know.
Vampires of the City. So
We'll have to see.
well, for now, I guess we'll go to my number 2, which is "I Stand Corrected" from Vampire Weekend.
No one cares when you are wrong, but I've been at this far too long to act like.
Which you should at least like this song. I will be offended if you don't have
Hold
this
on one
ranked
second.
somewhere.
Hold on. What
It's
album?
taking too long.
What album?
Vampire Weekend, the first one.
Oh,
One
it's
you
yeah.
don't
Then
like.
it's not even. Then it's not even on. It's not even on the list. No.
Oh
no,
my!
it's not
You don't
on
have
the list.
a
No.
song from
It's not-
Vampire
no.
Weekend?
No, I don't have.
Ridiculous.
Well,
Wow.
A Punk would be the only one I think I have. Yeah.
Okay.
No, that song is not even on the list. What song was it again? It was totally.
I stand
forgettable.
correct. I stand corrected. It is a completely nice song. I will talk about it and give you a chance to hear a few pieces of it so you can critique it. But the very beginning of the song, it kind of has a slow start and has. I don't even know what to describe it of. It just reminded me a little bit of some of the stuff from Little Green Cars. But then after that first little bit, it builds into kind of like a constant rhythm and stuff. There's some sort of piano or something that's kind of like giving this light pulsing feel to it, as well as the rhythm. And it's just a very like enjoyable, light feeling song. And the like repeated chorus line, "I stand corrected," I find quite catchy and just made it a really fun solid overall song for me. Nothing like all that unique about it. Just a pretty good song overall.
I stand corrected.
That song annoys the heck out of me.
What?
Your analogy to
Annoys?
Green Cars, the artist Green Cars. I like artists like the songs like that. Just like it's annoying to me. I don't know what it is. It's just like I need good rhythm and beats and
You
music.
can't hear like the dancing nature of the song of
I
the
don't
"I stand
like
corrected"
that.
with
I
the
just-
piano. It just
no,
doesn't
it's
make you
just-
happy.
No, it makes me just like I want to punch like a wall. I want to punch a wall, and I just
Okay,
like I don't
well,
know.
Next time you come over, I'm
it's
going to
not
play
a
that
great-
about 5 times.
I'm not gonna listen. I will turn it off. I have access to things like remotes.
Okay.
No, songs like that I just get annoyed by, and I don't know what it is. It's not even that like I'm angry about stuff. It's just like if it's not like a good rhythmic flow, it just seems chaotic and just not like okay. The best way I think I can describe it from my personality is I like things like consistent and even. And I'm basically an accountant, so I kind of like things like that. So it's one of those things where like songs that are just like chaotic. I'm like it makes me want to hit my head against the wall and like
But this one's not
punch a wall.
chaotic. It's just delightful.
it's not. It has
Just cheery.
it's just not. Okay, moving on. No, I didn't
Agree to
have that
disagree.
song right. That's not even in my top 30. So it's yeah.
I'm offended, but we'll move on.
All right. So I think this might be your number 1 song,
Is it what album is it from?
"Father of the Bride."
Okay, then we're in a better spot. So I think it's one of 2 songs. I'll let you go ahead, and then I'll say if it's one of the 2 songs I thought it was.
Harmony Hall.
Anger wants a voice, voices want to sing. Singers harmonize till they can't hear anything.
Yes, that is one of them, and that is my number one. Spoilers.
All right, so I guessed one. We're going to have one line. We did. So this one's not their best song, but it's continuing with the chill vibe. So I said my last song was Don't Lie, and this one's kind of continuing on. This is a great song, and I love the opening to this song with like the piano and the guitar. It's just like super chill, great song. Love this song so much. Okay, I will say I have, out of my top 5 songs, they're all from Modern Vampire the City, except for this one. This is the only one that's not from that album. And but no, this is a great, great song. Love it. Super solid. There is one more better solid song that they have, in my opinion, that's apparently not even in your top 6. But this one is really solid nonetheless. And I'm glad you have it.
Your number one? Or
this is my number 2. My number 1 song is better than this song, but this is
right. Oh, right. We're behind. I'm one behind you. I was thinking the other way. Okay,
I'm glad you have it. I approve this as being your number 1 song. I will say that. So I'll let you talk about it.
But I don't wanna die.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I'm kind of most attached to Hold You Now as far as like interesting and all of that, but Harmony Halls is just a great sounding song. And that beginning intro I enjoy, but it's really once it picks up, it just, is a really full song, like has a good accompaniment of stuff to it. And the vocals are really solid. There's some good backup vocals, and it just is really enjoyable, and one of the lyrical lines that's always stuck out to me, I don't really know what the song means either with a lot of these, one of the lines that always has stuck out to me is, of wicked snakes inside a place you thought was dignified. I don't know, it's just interesting words that, like, the way they sound all together, it just is kind of fun, and I quite enjoy. But that's a very good number 2 for you.
It's a good song. Yeah. So the reason it was my number 2, and the reason it's not my number 1, is because there's a better song that I think combines everything so much better than this song. So my number 1 is Unbelievers from the album Modern Vampires of the City 2013.
Got a little soul, the world is a cold, cold place to be. Want a little warmth, but who's gonna save a little warmth for me?
Ooh, okay. That is my, like, 10
number 7
or something.
No. Dang it. Okay. So this
Not
one
quite
is
high.
by far their best song. So I talk about often. So often I'll pick a song that I think perfectly combines like the best components of an artist into one song that I really enjoy. So like we're talking about the musical instruments, we're talking about the lyric writing, we're talking about the rhythm and flow, we're talking about the voice, we're talking about the lead singer, we're talking about all these different factors, like all these different factors that make up an artist. Like what is the best parts about that artist and how does it come into one song? And this, in my opinion, Unbelievers is that song for them, and it's why it's my number 1 song. I just love the song. So it's fast pace, yet super solid. So it's not slow, it's not fast. It's just at that right beats per minute. It's just absolutely great. It has parts that pick up, parts that slow down. The piano in this song is absolutely killer, and it kind of combines like everything into one song. That it's like, if I was to describe, if somebody came up to me like, hey, can you give me one song that perfectly describes Vampire Weekend? I would give them this song and be like, this song has components of all of them into one. So if you like certain parts of it, there's an album or there's a song for you in that. Because it has like, I think it just combines it in that way. So it's like, if you like the piano, there's the piano songs. If you like the fast pace, there's other fast paced songs. If you like the slower parts, there's other slower songs that they have. So there's components of it. So I think if you're gonna give one person one song to listen to, this is that one, and this is their best song because of that reason. And it's just a great song overall. End of speech. Listen up, kids. This is their best song.
I know I love you, and you love to see it. But what all the water contains, a little drop for me.
It's interesting to me that like I like that song. I do like that song, but I like it in a similar way to why I like I Stand Corrected. It's just a different form of that. So that is surprising how you enjoy that and are annoyed by I Stand Corrected. But
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's just the styling. I think there's
yeah,
it's
they
small
are
so that can
different.
take
They are
you
very
off.
different.
Yeah.
But it's still like it's similar types of things. But
Right.
yeah, that's a decent song. I don't. Yeah, I mean it was on my top 15 at least, but I wouldn't have. I would not have seen that anywhere close to a number one song for you.
Really?
Even.
So this is.
But, yeah.
I had a feeling this was gonna be my number one song going into it. So like I wasn't surprised when it came out. When I'm like, oh, this is what's left. So I do emoji ranking. So basically, I go through all the songs, and I give them either like a thumbs up if they're on my liked list, or a fire emoji if they're on my loved list or my favorite list. And then I will give up to 4 emojis. 4 emojis is the max emojis you can get per song. And so if I'll have my favorites list, 1 emoji, and then I emoji all of them up. So there's like between 5 and 25 songs, whatever. And then I'll just start placing them in rankings according to how many emojis there are. And if there's time, if 4 songs have one 5-star emoji, then I'll listen to all of them. Like, okay, this, and this, and then I'll do it that way. So I had 2 songs that had 4 5-star emojis, and it was Harmony Hall and Unbelievers. And I was like, so it's kind of a toss up between which song goes number 1 because they both had the same amount of rating, according to my system. And Unbelievers it's just a better song. It's a better song than Harmony Hall, in my opinion. So that's what it got it. But yeah, great song. Well, at least you appreciated it. So we did have 1. I said 1, you 2. I just thought 2 was going to be a stretch with how like the way you were talking about the albums. Like you liked Vampire Weekend, and I'm just like, I only have Modern Vampires of the City and 1 Father of the Bride song, so it's going to be a little bit tough.
Yeah, I'm interested. So I guess we'll go to our the rest of our top 15 here.
Yep.
So I want to
Go for
talk
it.
about a couple of these. So number 6, Worship You, obviously. And then Giving Up the Gun. Did you have that song?
8. Number 8.
8
You
song?
had it
Okay,
7. I had it 8. Yeah, great
that's
song.
a great
song.
Great one. This Life, that was the other one I thought from Father
Number
of the Bride
18.
could be up there. Okay, that one's really
number
good.
18.
Oxford Comma, weird song, very enjoyable.
25 for me.
Okay. That was a Vampire Weekend song on your list.
That was, yeah, I guess I did.
Unbelievers, We Belong Together, another fun.
14 for me.
Okay, featuring the Danielle. This is another interesting one. I Think You're a Contra. That was just a weird slow
Not
song
on the list.
Okay, and then one last weird song. Blake's Got a New Face.
Not on the list.
Do you remember that one at all?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's a strange song, also fun. Then one final song from Modern Vampire City, or Modern Vampires of the City. Step. Do you have that on there?
Number 7.
Number 7. Okay, lovely. And then finally, Unbearably White at my number 15.
Don't have that one. So my 6 through 15. At number 6, I have Hannah Hunt. I'm surprised you don't have Hannah Hunt. That was my number 6 song.
Which album is that?
Modern Vampires of the City.
Okay, let's look at
I
that
think.
quick.
Wait, actually, I just want to double check this right album. I'm 99% sure it is.
Yes, yeah, it is.
Yeah, number 6. Yeah. That was a close one. I almost switched Hannah Hunt out for Diane Young. That one's really close. At number 7, I had Step. Number 8, Giving Up the Gun. Number 9, Obvious Bicycle. Great song. 10, Everlasting Arms. 11, Yeah Hey. Good one. 12, Finger Back. 13, Rich Man. I'm surprised he didn't have Rich Man up there anywhere. That was a really good one. 14, as I said, We Belong Together. And then 15 from the EP, White Sky. I don't know if you listened to the EP at all. Did you listen to the EP?
I didn't look at that. That had some more songs in it?
I had 1, I think.
Okay.
Let me double check here. They had, White Sky. Oh, no. Well, White Sky had 4 songs, but it was all the same song. White Sky and 3 remixes.
And just to interject here, Rich Man, I do remember being on the fence about adding that song, but I knew it wasn't going to make I knew that I had enough other ones I liked that it wasn't going to make it. And also Hannah Hunt, don't really remember that one, so a little forgettable for me.
We actually had a lot of our 6 or 15 lists, within our top 15.
Yeah.
We actually had a lot of overlap, more than I thought we would. So it just kind of came down to the top 5 that was pretty different, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, because I even for album ranking, I was pretty sure how I wanted to rank it, but I really just looking at my top 15. Sometimes that kind of decides my ranking.
Right.
I really have a good mix from all the albums on there.
Yeah. No,
it's not like it's all just heavy on one album. So
yeah, I think I'm a little bit in the anomaly here where I'm all in one album. So that's cool. Where are you, or what's your mood you were in when you listened to this artist?
Weird mood.
Yeah. No, I would hear to that for sure.
Yeah, no, if I just like want something that's still in my like general music genre of alternative rock, whatever sort of stuff, pop, but want something different, it's kind of a fun thing to switch to. I know you're going to get some different sounding music.
Yeah, here's what I wrote down for that question. They aren't in my rotation. They're not. But if I had to listen to them, it'd probably be like in a social event where I needed some unique background music is where I would listen to them. Now, following up that question is kind of a stupid thing, but would you go to the concert? Yes, I would go. I would go to their concert. Yeah, I think it'd be a fun vibe.
It'd be interesting to see.
All right. Well, let's wrap up here of takeaways here. I'll let you go first, and I'll do my takeaways and wrap up the episode for our next episode. And we have a little bit of an announcement to make, so I'll let you go first, and I'll wrap us up.
Yeah. Overall, just a fun, strange band that, like I said, I've been listening to, especially Father of the Bride for a little while here. But I am intrigued since like their spread of when they released albums. I am intrigued to see if they keep releasing music or if now that they've lost one of their main members, if they'll kind of fade out over time. But I do hope they keep making music because I do enjoy it, and yeah, I like it's weird to me that my like two favorite albums are like their first album and their most recent album, which are the most kind of different in sound overall. But
yeah,
I think that like strange whatever choices they're making in their music style still runs through all of that, and I really enjoy that and would like to see more of it.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. I kind of agree with what you said there. Like, great artists. They're very unique in their style that no other artist has, which kind of gives them, allows them to be popular. If you're just super, like the same as everyone else, you're not going to have that uniqueness. And they're probably not going to be, like power stream mainstream. Like, they're not going to be like your Imagine Dragons. But they're not really, like... They're not poppy enough to be that, which I appreciate that about them. Like they're not like this pop artist out there just trying to gain like as many people to listen. So they're kind of this niche listening group, and so I think that's why I appreciate them as an artist because they are so unique. They have their like niche or whatever. Overall, great artists. Probably don't listen to them that much. I do like the album Vampires in the Modern City. Love that album, so I'll probably listen to that one more occasion, but probably not super often. But yeah. Fun episode here. So here, instead of announcing our next artist, we have a little bit of an announcement. So what we're doing here, with the release of the schedule, how it's going to work out, we're probably going to release the following episode of this episode. We're going to be releasing our end of music takeaways, probably in the first week in January. We did this last year. We basically went down through our top 5 albums from the year that him and Brendon and I listened to, our top 5 songs and our top 5 artists. We're going to go through like kind of the Spotify and Apple Music remixes that they do every year. So we're going to do an episode on that, and then after that, we're going to decide what we want to do. We're probably either going to take a little bit of a break or come back with a new format. So either way, this will probably be the last episode the Martin Take releases as this styling format. Either going to switch it up or take a little bit of break. But we appreciate you listening, and be on the lookout for our next episode when Brendon and me do our end of year 2023 Apple Music Wrap to listen or to see what we listen to and hopefully have a few surprises. So thanks for listening, and if you have any feedback, you can always email us at martintakepod@gmail.com or leave us a comment and we'll get back to you. Either way, we look forward to hearing you on our next episode, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening.